Hi, Mitch. How,
Hi,
how are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. You can't beat the weather. It's a great day today. Um,
Finally, right?
right? I wanted to thank you so much for reaching out. I know it took us a little time to coordinate this, but the it's important that we chat about your concept of maybe right sizing, and I'm happy to share any information that can help you. And I really wanted to say thanks for letting me tape this. Not everybody's comfortable with being taped, and I have lots of people with questions, so I'm going to use this to try to give them some information also.
That's perfectly fine. I mean, the reason why I reached out to you is because I get your newsletter probably for some
Good.
time now, and I noticed that the market is really hot and exploding. And I thought I'm probably going to call Shelley simply because I get a lot of advice from a lot of friends and family and people who think they know what they're talking about, but I really don't know who to believe about any of
Well, I hear that. Hopefully, I can shed some light on your questions today.
it.
Can I just ask you why you didn't reach out sooner? Because you mentioned that you reached out to a lot of different people.
Frankly, you know how it is. You call a salesperson and they just pound you. And I just didn't want to be harassed.
Okay, well, I promise I won't harass you. If you have questions, I'll be there to answer them. And if you want me to stay in touch, I will. But in the short term, let me see how much help I can be for you today.
That sounds great. Thank
Okay.
you.
Do you mind if I share a little bit about why I got into this?
I'd love that actually. Might
Okay,
give me some perspective.
sure. If you're getting my newsletter, then you probably have an idea because I know I put some stuff in there. But I've been in real estate just about 10 years now. And it all came about before I was with Keller Williams. I worked for a company. We did primarily houses for the government. So people that were no longer able to take care of themselves. And one day I ran into a gentleman who was helping sell his mom's place, and we got to talking, and he shared the story with me, and it hit home something fierce. So his mom was a senior and she refused to sell the house. He was like pleading with her, and to make other arrangements, and she refused. So he used to go by and check on her, called her every day, did everything he was supposed to do, and he had to go away on business, and for a couple of days he couldn't reach her. So when he finally got back to town, he went right to the house to check on her, and he found her lying on the concrete floor in the basement. She'd,
What?
yeah, she went downstairs. They had like a freezer down there, and she went down to get something to cook for dinner. She took a tumble. She hurt herself, and she couldn't get up. She didn't have a phone down there with her, and so she laid on the floor for like 3 days until he finally got back, just kind of eating what she could find in the freezer, ice cream, that sort of thing. And when he finally got her to the doctors and convinced her to sell, and she finally shared with him why she didn't. And she said that it was because she had spoken to a cashier at the grocery store who had told her that because her late husband didn't have a will, the government would take his share of the value of the house, and she didn't want to give that up.
Is that true? Will the government do that?
No, no, it doesn't work that way. That's why it's really important to seek advice from your lawyer, your accountant, your real estate agent. That's
Oh,
not
wow.
how it's not how it works. There are workarounds. They don't get to keep half of your sale. And so we managed to sell her house. She's in a great residence that she loves now. It's like a little townhouse with no stairs and lots of like-minded people. She's near her grandchildren, super happy. Awesome end to the story, but just kind of a terrible middle.
Oh, sure. God, it totally scares me thinking about that. I'm dealing with, my mom who's got challenges, and certainly I can just now picture her laying on the ground, wondering if I'm going to get over there to find her. I mean, I just can't imagine the humiliation that this person went through. And I know it's hard to leave the neighborhood. That's the same thing my mom is saying. All the times and memories she spent in the house with my dad, and the neighbors are close by. It just everything has just been such about that house for so long.
Yeah.
But thinking about it, with the prices as high as they are, I bet we could sell her house and actually move her into something that would be a lot safer and hopefully put some money in the bank too. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that what you're saying resonates for so many people. Actually, it resonates for people at every, like, a bunch of different ages, right?
Right.
Because at different point, I mean, I've got one off in university and two that are heading out, and I'm already thinking, do I need 4 bedrooms? Maybe I only need 3. How quickly can I get down to 2 and take advantage of this, right? So the right sizing can come at any time. And for your mom, like, there's ways that we can save some of her memories, whether it's, some great paintings that she can, of the house that she can hang in her new place. If she had this, the area where maybe she was measuring the kids, well, we can take that with us and rebuild it. And she can have that in her new place as a great, like, moment to remember. It doesn't have to be negative feelings. And I think for a lot of people, like, if I say downsize, you probably get a bit of negative feelings, right? You think condo, or maybe you're thinking seniors building.
Well, I know when I talk to her, she thinks nursing home, which is a bunch of,
There you go.
sad situations. And she's still a lot more independent than that. But I could see where people would think that entirely. But it sounds to me like you have a different plan.
Well, yeah, absolutely. To me, if you're right sizing, it can mean a bunch of different things. For your mom, it might just mean getting out of something that's just too big for her to handle, right? Like, maybe she still wants the space because she loves when all you guys come to visit. Maybe she doesn't want the stairs. Or maybe it's the space is good, but not the yard because she doesn't like to garden, or she needs less space and she loves to garden. So it's finding that balance, that that comes with getting older for sure, but even less comes more with our changing lifestyle, right? And where we're at now and where we think we want to be next. So it's really important to kind of start timing the sale, because you don't want to wait too long, and you don't want to stay somewhere so long and not fix it that now you start losing money, or it becomes a bigger burden.
Oh yeah. Well, I can see now, right now, that the house my mom's living in is way too big. I'm already sending a housekeeper over there, and she still finds time to think about going out and clipping, flowers and all kind of stuff. And I keep telling her that she needs to enjoy her life, and her knees and her body aren't going to last forever. She should do the things that are going to keep herself and still get some enjoyment. So I'm not quite sure how to move forward on this, because I do want to take advantage of the fact that the property values are ridiculous right now too.
For sure. So if I hear what you're saying, Mitch, property value is it's probably the initial motivator that got you to thinking, or got, like, you and your family and your mom to thinking about this change for her. But also
Right.
the fact that maybe the house is it possible if the house has outgrown her? It's kind of a backwards effect, right? She's become so just a small portion in a big house, and chances are she's probably not using as many rooms as she did. So now your heating rooms for nothing and your cleaning rooms for nothing. And
Yep.
The last thing I mean, it's cold climate here, so winter's a big one. And I even know myself this winter, I see my kids out there shoveling. I'm like, I can do that, so I get out there and shovel. Yeah, it was a bad idea, because I can't shovel at the same speed, but I still have I'm young and I'm vigorous and I can do all these things. And the last thing we want is mom out there pushing herself to do more than possibly capable, because she still have this mentality, right, of that she can, and maybe finding something where she fits it perfectly and she can just guard it and not have to mow.
Sure. Well, you know how it is. We all get older and we think we can do it. Our pride won't let us do otherwise. So it's definitely not best that she does it, but when you do something. So what do you think we should do?
Well, okay, I think next steps, Mitch, there's 6 good questions that I like to ask people, and maybe you can sit down with your mom and chit chat with her, and or I don't know if it's a family decision or if it's just you and her having the talk, but I can send you an email with those questions in it, and then we can reconvene and maybe have another chit chat together. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds like a great idea, actually. So you're going to send me an email. I'm going to sit down and have questions with my mom. Now, when I get the email, if I have questions about what you sent me, can I call you back?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good. Because I know when you get this over to me, I'm going to probably wind up other questions, and I know mom's going to have other questions too. So is there anything else that I should know about, or anything else that you're going to send me that I should be prepared for?
No, I mean, these are pretty simple questions. You know, things to look at. You know, does your housing expense exceed 30% of your income? Well, in this case, mom's income.
Right.
You know, so like maybe sit with mom. Let's look at the cash flow of see what bills are getting paid each month. And then, you know, it's kind of important to have that question, that talk with mom as well, saying, okay, if we do this, mom, what do you want next? Like, does she want to take a painting course, or maybe travel more if you have family, you know, anywhere else? And this extra money can be used for like globetrotting, or, you know, maybe she just needs a pied a terre here, something small she can come back to. And then the rest of the time, maybe she wants to go pursue another passion. So these are kind of the questions that will start to move us along, like along the road. You know, is it the memories that are most important? Well, then we'll figure that one out too. Again, paintings, pictures, really nicely framed if it's something specific.
Right.
So that would kind of be the third. If we're looking at fourth, my fourth usual question is, again, how much of the house is she really using, and how much is she, you know, starting to close off? You know, I know my aunt's the funniest thing. She's like, no, don't use that bathroom. Just go upstairs and use the one up in my bedroom. I'm like, isn't that why we have other bathrooms? She's like, yeah, but then I got to clean it. So
sounds just like my mom.
So, you know, that's kind of a good tell at that point that, you know, maybe the house is just getting a little bit too big. You know, is it the neighborhood? Maybe she just really, really loves her neighbors. But then again, a lot of times if we've been in the same neighborhood for a long time, even that's changed, right? Like,
Sure.
I see it on my street. When my little guys were young, they were outside playing hockey. Now they're older teens, they're too cool. But the little guys that used to sit around and watch them, they're now getting to that age, and, you know, they're out there starting to play hockey. So you see kind of the next generation.
Yeah.
And so, you know, maybe her friends are moving somewhere. We can do the same kind of move, or and have them close again, so that she's not just kind of staying back for the sake of it, or because she's like familiar or comfortable with the neighborhood. Or maybe we find a bungalow in the same neighborhood. There's tons of those as well.
Oh, sure.
And then I guess the big one is, where are you guys? Where are the grandchildren? What's the easiest like way to get her around the people she wants to be around? So I think I'll email you these questions anyways, just for more of a reflection, and then maybe we can, you know, chat again. We can meet like this, especially with COVID and all our crackdowns going on. But if and when things open up again, we can do it in person. If she's more comfortable, I'd be happy to kind of chat with her too.
Well, maybe I'll take my laptop over with me, and we together can get on the phone. But I do know one question she's going to ask. She's going to ask, what does she do with all her stuff? Do you have somebody that can help us get rid of some of these things?
We do. I have a turnkey kind of system that we can put in place. You know, first things first, what does she want to keep, right? What does she want to take? Is she actually going into something smaller or just something flatter? All of those questions, but assuming it's smaller, maybe not 4 bedrooms and whatnot, you know, what's important at the core to keep. And then if she's okay with seeing if any of you guys want anything, because there might be some, you know, strategic pieces that you want. And then if not, if she's like an antique lover, I do have a company that can come in and go through the antiques and, you know, kind of do that as well. We have options for every scenario, and we'll make it.
Sounds like you got this completely dialed in.
Yeah, not our first rodeo.
Yeah, I'm guessing not. It sounds like you do this enough, helping a lot of older people. I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you answering these questions, because I got to tell you, when I go to talk to her about it, and it's going to have to happen, if I didn't have these answers, it'd be a lot more uncomfortable. I can tell you that.
Well, I'm happy to answer any of them and to answer hers as well. And then hopefully we can work together and get her somewhere that's going to make the next, you know, her next step fun and happy and exciting again. Everybody needs a little excitement right now.
That's for sure, especially being locked down like everybody is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to getting your email.
Okay, I will send you the email, and then we'll find a time to do part 2 and chat with Mom.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks.